Today we salute the future, and for us it will be a great future if we resolve to make it so. Under this flag, may our youth find new inspiration for loyalty to Canada, for a patriotism based on no mean or narrow purpose, but on the deep and equal pride that all Canadians will feel for every part of this good land.
We get to see the maple trees, maple sugar on the maple leaves. We get the biggest wheat fields growing tall. In Canada, where we see the reversing falls. In Canada, we get to see them all.
Happy Flag Day, Canada! Well, Canadians aren't known for displaying our flags on our homes or businesses in the same way that the USA does, but February 15th is National Flag Day, or Flag Day, in French, Jour du Drapeau National du Canada, to commemorate the inauguration of the maple leaf flag in 1965. The maple leaf had been the unofficial symbol since the early 1800s due to the prominence of maple trees as a feature of the eastern provinces, and the indigenous peoples valued the tree for its syrup and other goods. In 1834, the Société de Saint-Jean-Baptiste, which celebrates French language and culture, adopted the maple leaf as its symbol. 2 years later, the newspaper Le Canadien displayed a wreath of leaves on its front page, with the editor proclaiming that the maple leaf has been adopted as the emblem of Lower Canada. And by 1850, Canadian pennies featured maple leaves, and from 1876 to 1901, the leaf was featured on all of our coins. In 1867, Canadian poet and songwriter Alexander Muir composed The Maple Leaf Forever to commemorate our Confederation, and it was the unofficial national song until 1980, when O Canada became the official anthem. The maple leaf emblem was adopted by the royal family, the military, and even hockey teams. Montreal Canadiens used it on their jerseys from 1910 to 1913, and then the Toronto Maple Leafs adopted it in 1927. By World War II, the military used the maple leaf emblem on their badges and equipment, and the Army published a newspaper for the troops called the Maple Leaf. By 1964, Prime Minister Lester B. Pearson proposed a new flag to be commissioned in time to commemorate our centennial in 1967, sparking the Great Flag Debate, where thousands of flag concepts were submitted by the public. Finally, the design was approved, and at the stroke of noon on February 15th, 1965, the maple leaf flag was raised for the first time on Parliament Hill, with thousands in attendance for the inauguration. And Prime Minister Pearson proclaimed, "May the land over which this new flag flies remain united in freedom and justice, sensitive, tolerant, and compassionate towards all." And the flag was presented to the world at the 1967 Expo 67 in Montreal for our centennial.
This day, the 15th day of February 1965, will always be remembered as a milestone in Canada's national progress.
As the red ensign is lowered, I salute it and thank God for the blessings He bestowed upon it and us.
The patriotic motives that have led Parliament to adopt a new Canadian flag do not include disrespect for our past or for the emblems of that past.
Je fais appel fervent et pressant aux Canadiens de toutes origines. Tous ensemble, donnons un exemple de fraternelle coexistence et que notre drapeau symbolise pour nous, devant le monde, l'unité dans la pensée et dans la volonté de répondre à la haute destinée à laquelle nous sommes appelés.
Today we salute the future, and for us it will be a great future if we resolve to make it so. under this flag. May our youth find new inspiration for loyalty to Canada, for a patriotism based on no mean or narrow purpose, but on the deep and equal pride that all Canadians will feel for every part of this good land. Que Dieu bénisse notre drapeau. God bless Canada.
Today, Justin Trudeau issued a statement that reads,
60 years ago today, the Canadian flag was raised for the first time on Parliament Hill. From First Nations who used the maple tree for its sweet sap and wood, to its sightings on helmets and coins in the 19th century, and for generations ever since, the maple leaf has long been an emblem of Canadian identity and unity. The maple leaf has center stage throughout Canadian history. It has been emblazoned on the uniforms of our armed forces members, from the beaches of Normandy to the battlefields of Afghanistan. It has flown over buildings and courthouses, at schools and libraries, and at diplomatic missions around the world. It has been adorned by backpackers and hoisted on top of Olympic podiums. It has been launched into space and carried to the highest point on Earth. It is carved on the headstones of the servicemen and women who gave their lives for our country, and it is draped over them when they are laid to rest. The flag symbolizes Canada's breathtaking beauty, the white of winter snow and the red of autumn maple leaves. It exemplifies our dreams and sacrifices, our hard work and our unyielding ambition to grow. It is an invocation of pride for Canadians who have hailed from every corner of the globe to forge a nation with a unique identity worth embracing and celebrating. And it is an inspiration to those who come to our shores seeking a brighter tomorrow. It has been the honor and privilege of my life to serve Canadians under this flag. Over these past 9 years, I have seen Canadian excellence on every street corner that I have visited, at every embassy and armed forces base, at every small business and hockey arena. Reflecting on the past few weeks, I have never been more optimistic about the future of our country. Canadians are unflinchingly resilient. Our love for our country is unwavering. And while we are kind and generous, we will never be pushed around. When our backs are up against the wall, we will always stand for Canada and choose Canada. We are a proud, sovereign, and independent country, and we always will be. On this National Flag of Canada Day, I invite Team Canada, all 41 million strong, to celebrate the promise of the maple leaf and to proudly wave our flag. Let's keep writing Canada's enduring story. Let's make our country better and fairer, with unity, diversity, and prosperity. Let's stand together, work together, and grow together as the true North, strong and free.
This year, Flag Day means something more to us, with the imminent threat of tariffs and possibly worse coming from the shitting occupant of the Oval Office. And our national pride has been awakened as it rarely has been before. Charlie Angus had something to say about it again.
I want to say this morning how much I love my country. We don't tend to do that in Canada. We think that that's kind of gauche. We don't feel we need to say how much we love our country. But when we see the criminal gang that has taken control in Washington telling us we do not have a right to our nation, well, oh yeah. Not only am I going to love my country and its values and the people from one end of this beautiful nation to another, but I'm going to work with those ordinary Canadians to defend our right to continue to exist as an independent nation. And for this, on the eve of the 60th anniversary of the Canadian flag, I encourage Canadians to reflect what that symbol means. That symbol that has been in war zones. That symbol that has been, as Canadians went to fight famines in other countries. That symbol of openness and inclusion that is the direct opposite to the politics of Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
The last time Canadians were moved to such an extent was during the Molson Canadian beer ad campaign, I Am Canadian, which peaked with the rant featuring a man named Joe as an average Canadian white dude, performed by Nova Scotian actor Jeff Douglas. This ad has resurfaced in the wake of the insults and threats from the furious Führer.
25 years ago, I was the Molson Canadian guy, and that commercial changed my life.
Hey, I'm not a lumberjack or a fur trader, and I don't live in an igloo or eat blubber or own a dog sled. And I don't know Jimmy, Sally, or Susie from Canada, although I'm certain they're really, really nice.
But the interesting thing about that commercial, it was ready in time for it to go on the wait list for the Oscars, for the Academy Awards that night. Robin Williams was hosting that year. He took the program long, and at a certain point, he did a performance of Blame Canada from South Park.
Now, blame Canada, blame Canada. It seems that everything's gone wrong since Canada.
Then they went to commercial break, and the rant came up. It was pure happenstance.
Minister Saint-Onge said, "This year more than ever, not only do we have to celebrate our flag, but also remind ourselves what it represents. Our values, our resilience, and our sovereignty. This national emblem represents the values we all cherish: generosity, openness, respect, and equality. A flag that could not be mistaken for any other. It connects us to our national identity, to our Canadian pride, and to each other. Seeing our bright red and white flag with its maple leaf flying reminds us of the home we all share. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of our command." Happy Flag Day, Canada. Stay tuned for more on Political Drain Canadian Edition.
Follow us on all these things you see here, and our link tree is in the description. Maybe even get some merch.